I guess. Como vai? Welcome to the Super P Podcast season premiere of our season number 2. It is Mother's Day, so for all you mothers out there, Feliz Dia das Mães. That's Happy Mother's Day in Portuguese.
You had to show out real quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
GK.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
We have a new thing by Mega.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mega.
Came out good.
Yeah, it came out good. How are you doing, sir?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good, man. I've been doing a lot of sending out items from the podcast, giving out shirts, sweaters. Yes, I've been very busy.
Yeah. Yeah. So have I.
Yes, so are you. Okay. So we do have some esteemed guests. And might I say, these guys that are here, I just literally said, yo, you want to come do the show? And they're like, yeah, let's do it. Other people, they give me the run around, and you know who you are. Anyway, first and foremost.
No need.
No, I'm just saying, you got to give people their flowers and be respectful. Because there's people out there that'll just bullshit you to the end of the earth.
To the end of the earth.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's definitely a need.
Yes. So first we have the OG, Rudy Low, who's on the old show, Been There, Rock That, one of the greatest episodes ever. You know, Rudy.
Hopefully.
You know.
Salute. Rudy Low.
And we have Racks Hogan, Mr.
Howdy.
Gray Skull himself.
Hey, man, how you guys doing out
He
there?
was on the Been There, Rock That, I think twice. Maybe 3 times, but twice.
Twice for sure.
Always was a great episode.
Love y'all,
you
man.
know, one of these are both my brothers. You know what I'm saying? Anytime I ask them for something, you know what I'm saying? Come to the show, come, you know what I'm saying?
The answer is always yes.
Yes, basically.
Yeah.
So, okay, guys. So let's get into it. Let's start this show off. So how you guys doing with COVID-19? I guess we're on the ending of COVID-19, maybe the middle. How are you guys feeling about this?
I'm gonna let Root. You wanna? Yeah.
I was saying, like, how you feel about it?
It's mixed feelings. In the beginning, I embraced it because it gave me an advantage.
Mm-hmm.
When I say that, meaning that unfortunately I was incarcerated for a long amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
So due to that and also being in the box, I learned myself and I love myself so I can be by myself.
Right.
Most people in the free society, it's hard for them to function without a group of people or interacting with other people and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
So since I was at the disadvantage of coming to society, being set back so many years and job wise and everything else in society standards, I felt it gave me some type of leverage for I can bounce and flip it. But in the meantime, this is the most deaths I've ever experienced in my life. And I guess with me being older now and it being a pandemic and an epidemic and me being more conscious with things in society now, like in the media wise and everything, it's like, I never thought of nothing like this, according to the deaths. Don't get me wrong, to the street stuff, I done thought of crazier things, like Mad Max things, and I embrace things like that. Like, unfortunately, where I'm from and with my history, like, that's like a dream come true, something like that. I've never been, and also I was locked up for the riots in '91 in Crown Heights, so I didn't get a chance to experience that. And this time doing the marches and stuff was the closest closest I physically ever was to something similar to a revolution or something going against the powers that be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You were there?
Oh, I actually participated on both levels.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm saying it proudly. When I say it proudly, meaning that I'm a lowlife. I'm an original lowlife. So it always been a dream of mine just to be able to go to Midtown and go crazy and have my way.
Right.
So the first days I marched, because, I consider myself an activist.
Right.
I'm active in the community.
Right.
I was a part of that process. And then on the reverse, I had to balance it out somewhat. So let's put it like this. I can sit pretty with foreign feats for many years to come.
Right.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
right.
I don't think you can come back from that one, but
No, I mean, he OG with it, but
exactly.
pandemic. First of all, fuck COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
That's first and foremost. Like he said, I think what it did, it was kind of like almost not the opposite, but here's the thing: I was free, obviously, because you was in the box behind the wall or whatever. But being free, I was locked up to the shit that basically distracts us, even being in the streets. Meaning that I had a lot of time on my hands to go and travel. I was going here, I was going there, I was buying this, I was doing that. And honestly, I really wasn't taking into account for my actual worth. Be it like when you put in a situation of really fight or flight. And I feel like a lot of us, we go around very comfortable. Life gives us these little comfortabilities that we could walk around with. And I think that for real, the pandemic really challenged my comfortability level. And it put me in a position to actually look within myself. I was literally having this conversation last night with my business partner. And I was like, man, before the pandemic, I was good. I was like, but since this happened, and even though it's like a tragedy because people did lose their lives and it was loss of life, involved around the world globally, like you see what's happening in India right now, that shit's sad as hell.
Yeah.
But in the sense of how I could contain and control myself and what I was doing for me, because like you said, it forces you to kind of be by yourself. So like similar to what he said, when it first started, I was kind of like, oh shit, now we got to be shut down for 2 months. Oh, I can't go on vacation. Damn. Then when I seen that it was going beyond the 2 months, and it was like getting really serious, I was like, well, hold the fuck up. Like, how much money is saved? And, what, if this happens, what are you going to do if they decide to take your crib? Or what are you going to do if they decide to shut down this or take this? And, your family is here and you're here. Like, so I think it really made me look within myself. And I started 3 businesses during the pandemic, for real. Yeah. Like 3 legit businesses. I got a moving company, I got a printing company, and now I do a Tufton class, and we teach workshops, inside of my shop. Right. So it's like, with that, I just kind of really used it to kind of hone in and tap into like the hidden powers that was always there. Like, I feel like it just took a serious situation and some people, they adapted to it. They went through it. They figured it out, whether you was finessing, whether you was, whatever. They figured it out and they made it through. And I think now it's just kind of odd in my opinion that like now it's just like, oh, okay. You know what? We've had the pandemic long enough. We got a vaccine now. Everything's good. Open back up. We're going to just go, and get back to it. So it's just like one of them things where like now all those people that I feel like was relying on the pandemic and being lazy and not using it as like a stepping stone to kind of really like self-check or self-cleanse themselves, I think they kind of behind right now. And it's just one of them things where like I took it and I turned lemons into lemonade. You know what I mean? And now I'm just ready for it to kind of come back full steam and really kind of show all of the stuff that I built during the pandemic, be able to travel, do some stuff like that. So, yeah, fuck COVID-19. No shit, fuck my shit up for real.
Yeah, but supposedly a week and a half and everything is opening up. So,
yeah.
For me, like I'm kind of like Rudy. I haven't been one, like I don't need to be cool. Like I don't have to be around people to be okay. So it's kind of like I just basically worked and took care of my family. And, and I'm an essential worker. So, what I'm saying? I just was always busy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Always busy, straight through. I worked straight through the whole pandemic.
Same.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't really look to like be around people to have to be like cool. So I didn't give a shit. Like, okay, I can't be around nobody. Okay, I'll just do something else. I work on my podcast. I'll do this. Or I'll do something at home. I just think not everybody's like that though.
Yeah, we had a lot of motherfuckers sitting around because it was, money flowing out the wazoo, and they tapped into that vein or whatever, whatnot. They didn't really, I feel like, capitalize off of the gains that was available outside of just that. Like you said, I was the same way. I kind of was like, shit, I'm bored. And then I started printing t-shirts.
Yeah, you just do something else. You just get focused and you just do something else. Like, you don't have to be around people to be, you know what I'm saying, active. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
Yeah, but you need the capital. Like, whether in order to do all this stuff, you need the money to begin with. So yeah, if you go into a pandemic and you got the money to toss into your creative venture, then like it might be a little bit easier for you to do these
Yeah,
things.
that's what I'm saying.
You know?
I work straight through. So.
There's a lot of people COVID hit. They didn't have nothing,
the
and they still don't got nothing. So I think it really separated like the haves and have-nots of like society.
I mean, there was a lot of people that lost their jobs.
Hey man, hold up.
Too.
I agree, and I do agree with you in terms of capital is essential to basically, but there was so many people at the beginning who didn't take it serious that was kind of like wasting bread and still pretending shit was sweet. And then you look at them 4 months down the line, they ain't gonna have no capital because they wasn't looking at thinking shit like was, you know what I mean? They wasn't taking it serious. So I think it's just a matter, like you said, I don't want to use this term, but it's like survival of the fittest almost, like, or survival of the smartest.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you have that hustler's mentality, it doesn't matter, pandemic, no pandemic, you still gonna find a way.
True.
Not everybody has that though.
That's a fact.
There's some people out there that just looking at the wall, like it's going to come to me.
That's a fact.
And it's not coming.
Some people have what you call that phobias.
Yeah.
Some people have I guess lack of information, so they don't go on with the daily activities like they usually do because of, I guess, the information that's in the media. That's what I don't care if I receive information from you or from him. More than likely, I received it from the media or some type of publication to some degree. So, I'm not really one with like conspiracies, but due to the pandemic and all this that's going on with COVID-19, with the Johnson & Johnson, with all that stuff and everything in abundance, when you think about it, it makes you lean towards conspiracy theories somewhat. Because, like say when we was children, you see the Jetsons as a cartoon, right? They used to have futuristic stuff on TV, phones like this, and you would never think that stuff like this wouldn't be possible. But television, and I strongly feel that society, like the government and stuff like that, or people that invent things and stuff, they already be having prototypes or things like this invented or close to it. And when the years go on, or when society catch up to the inventions, you know what I mean? It comes out.
Right.
So now, the same thing with the pandemic. They had movies that show similar stuff like this, like Scars, and then you got stuff that Bill Gates constantly allegedly say. You feel what I'm saying about controlling population control, and it's so much stuff. Even the masses, even wearing masks, like even the masses, even not being around nobody, and now you could be around people, and then you can't be around people.
That's that desensitize it. They get you familiar with it so that when it actually happens in real life, it's like, oh, what happened in that movie? It's okay.
They create a pandemic. Yeah. You know what I mean? For remember, I like to call it a pimp syndrome. I hate to do it, but I go back to what I know best. You know what I mean? That's like the same thing with religion. Like a pimp. Make a female think she's nothing, break her down to the lowest compound and bring her back up and think I'm the only one bringing you back up. So without me, you're nothing. Right. You feel what I'm saying? So that's the same type of mentality that they perpetuate all around the board, but they just do it on a larger, more complicated stage or level.
So now that you said the whole conspiracy thing, I was about to get into this. So what do you think about the vaccines and the whole rollout and all of that?
I'm not a doctor or nothing, right? But our bodies, according to my understanding, what I learned through my years of living, our bodies is made to fight off certain vaccines or certain foreign things that come into our body. Now, that's the same thing with smallpox and the rest of the other things. What y'all telling me is y'all want to put something in me. I don't have anything yet, allegedly, no virus and no nothing, but you want to put it in me so when the virus do come, it creates an antibiotic or somewhat to that effect to take it out. Nah, like I go back to conspiracy theories. I don't know if you put a microchip in me. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know if Johnson & Johnson is trustworthy. When I say trustworthy, meaning look what they did to the baby pod of females getting cancer and stuff like that. We just found that out nowadays. You could look at we was talking about the toothpaste up there, right? It's going to be on subject. Yeah. When I was a child, I didn't know nothing about like aloe soap and all this stuff. I didn't know nothing about none of that. But guess what? That was out there. But they give us the regular stuff. You feel what I'm saying? Because we're on a lower level. So now what I'm saying is all this stuff that they playing with, y'all already had to know about it. And look at smallpox, look at syphilis, all the other things that the powers that be, I don't care what nationality or what race you want to put them as. Now it's on a money thing, but the powers that be is in control. So why would I trust them? I personally don't trust people that I grew up with, or nobody for that matter. So why would I trust somebody else?
Right.
Let's be realistic.
Right.
If it make logic and reason, then I can go with it.
Right.
Other than that, I'm an atheist. I don't even believe in religion. So why would I believe in something else?
Right.
And I'm freely gonna give it up because the Constitution and all this stuff is supposed to be there for a reason. So they indirectly make clauses or amendments attached tools to slowly take our rights away and still control. Who's to say they're gonna put a microchip in you?
Mm-hmm.
Who's to say they wouldn't?
Right.
I pass. I'm not a regular person. When I say that, meaning a regular law-abiding person in society. So
Right.
I don't travel. I don't need to move around the way
Yeah.
they want to move around because they say everybody must do it.
Yeah.
Everybody. In order to move around.
Because I think that's how they're going to try to get people. Like I was telling him, because like for instance, I have a daughter that lives in Florida. So I think what they're going to try to do is that some states are going to say you have to be vaccinated to come into the state. Like eventually that's what they're going, and you know, kind of what you're saying. They're kind of forcefully saying, well, okay, you got to get this vaccination, whether you know the information or not about it, or even if it's good for you, but you got to get it because we're not going to let you in this state. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, it's so many. They got one thing I ran across. They want us to stand 6 feet. Part of the reason to stand 6 feet because the microchips in you, they can't read it properly if we standing closer than 6 feet. It be like it's all types of stuff, and you never know what's gonna be true later on.
Right.
Because I think I remember like 1992 or 90. It was 92. I can remember it. I can remember it was 92. Gangstar was on the cover of the Source magazine. It used to be somebody used to draw on the back of the Source all the time. Like I'm a fake graffiti artist. Yeah. So I used to be on it. And a dude drew a big graffiti piece. It was black and white, but it was like the end of the world. It was like with the jam in the Bronx. They had one man with the barcodes on his head. They had like a UFO, a flying saucer. And remember, this is like in 92. But the three, like all the people that deal with, you know, all the conspiracy theories and all that, Illuminati and all that, they've been talking about chips. They've been talking about not having money no more.
Right.
And now all this stuff is manifesting itself. When I was a child, the guard bodies or whatever, the 5%ers said Yaku was a grafted person, right? When I was a child, people used to look at that like, it's unheard of. Like, that's magical. Nobody can graft nothing. Now that I'm an adult, they grafting plants. They grafting animals now. So who was to say that was far-fetched? This is 30, 40 years later. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't put too much into it. And who was to say you could trust the government?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you find the information that you're looking at for the conspiracy stuff? Because I feel
I find it numerous places.
Remember when we were kids, we used to, on Fulton Street, they would sell the books, like the...
Oh, yeah, like on the dude from Bushwick and all that, was the Ansar community, stuff like that?
Yeah, and then there was the VHS tapes that used to have, like, you know, they talk about the Metro card, like,
crazy. What the fuck?
you know, way before it came out, you know? You've seen all this stuff, right? Yes. A lot of people don't realize how long these conspiracies have been, like, circulating. Like, they're a lot more accessible now because of the internet. You know, you really have to seek it out at one point in time, but it's not like that anymore. So where do you look when you're looking for this type of stuff?
I hate to say it. A lot of stuff I read from being incarcerated or got the origins from there. Mm-hmm. But to be honest, like I Google everything. Like the internet is free. Like I could never be stupid in my life. Like it's like you don't gotta go to the library, you don't gotta go nowhere. All you gotta do is just put it in there and something's gonna come up. And it just take you from there. But a lot of things I know from I know from the origins of other things. Like for example, the redemption is the thing I call a redemption process. You know, the thing dealing with your name and birth certificate and the sovereignty, the natural rights of the land. I know the dynamics of that. So a lot of that take you a whole lot of places too. Because I just started dealing with that once I was home. When I was incarcerated, I knew about it, but I didn't want to deal with that. I had to deal with the criminal law to get myself out. I didn't want to go, deal with some far-fetched stuff with the courts and still be sitting in there. So I dealt with what I knew was concrete. Some of that stuff not having been unrenowned yet. It's just a whole lot of theses and a lot of educated guesses and questions behind it and answers.
Do you feel like there's like a lack of quality control with this stuff? Like, how do you know you're looking at like a reputable source when you go online?
You trying to say like research-wise? I always go back to the origins. Most of the time, things that I read have cross references and things of that nature. Like, I don't like to take nothing on face value. So
right.
I don't want to read nothing and say, oh, well, this is true, or promote something that's untrue. That's why most of the time I either say allegedly, or I say I heard this or I heard that.
I mean, with me, I watch all this stuff too. And when it comes down to it, I'll be like, am I really going to base everything I think about life on this YouTube channel? Like, I can make a YouTube channel right now and put up whatever I want on it, you know? I just feel like a lot of it's not, like, vetted. Like, there needs to be, like, a more quality control. Like, you know? Like, Behold the Pale Horse is, like...
Oh, yeah,
you read Behold the...
Yeah.
So, that's like a reputable conspiracy.
Yeah.
You know? And then... there's, like, other branches of it that are just, like, more out there. It's a quality control thing for me. Like, I just need to trust somewhat the source that I'm getting the information from.
You know, one of the things I learned from my relatives, my family growing up, because they wasn't educated in a traditional sense, right? Sometimes when you take all the fancy stuff or the decorations away and just keep it plain and simple, you can get to an answer quicker. Well, I can. Let's say dealing with research or dealing with anything for that matter. Once I see or learn a lie or a discrepancy or a flaw in something, then I question all the other stuff. You know what I mean? You can't be something to stand on if I find flaws in it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, let's say, for example, it's an author, right? All right, King James gave the authority and he oversaw the revising of the Bible, the translation of the Bible. But King James dealt with bestiality. King James dealt with incest. So he wasn't a good person. So 99% of the time, whatever his mind frame was, he depicted inside that book, which is some of the book that we started now in modern time follow behind when they made Jesus Christ look that of a white person. And he had input with that with Michelangelo, or whatever, the famous painter from back in antiquity. You feel what I'm saying? So, you got to look at who's the information coming from and why the information is. That's why I say I just accumulate a lot of information and then I use my personal common sense to add to it. And two, I can have something that's unrenowned facts where I say, yo, this is actual and factual. Other than that, like I say, I just lean towards it and make sure I state it for no public reasons or what argument's sake, allegedly or whatever.
All right. So I guess maybe like because a lot of people listening, they don't get into this stuff, right? And I don't think a lot of people even understand what we're talking about. Like, I think me and you were kind of like, we read the same type of stuff. Is Jay-Z the Antichrist?
Oh, shit.
And then we go left.
Oh, that's what they say. You heard the new song, Sorry, right? Why I did that to Jesus Christ? Respectfully.
And then we go left.
Super left.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, on that note, so Racks, what's going on with Gray Skull?
Man, we got the shit ton of stuff, everything. We just got, we got like a sub cease and desist order for a collab we just did, which is kind of whack. But to me, I feel like that's kind of cool too. I feel like
printed on the shirt.
It's on the shirt.
Oh,
I'm wearing right now.
Yeah,
Like I said, we just been doing a bunch of stuff for real. I just been, like I said, the pandemic really put me in a position to kind of like, what's the word I want to use? Kind of run free. It kind of opened up the floodgates for me. Shit, we got the spring summer drop coming. We got crazy ass t-shirts, fire ass collabs. We got a call today. Well, actually, just the whole shit as a whole. I got a whole new moniker. We got a call today with SneakerCon to go back and start figuring out what we're gonna start doing with them, going on the road with them.
Nice.
Because my whole shit is, I just want to expand on the knowledge. Because this also showed me that you can't depend on shit but yourself. You can't depend on shit but yourself.
Right.
If you had a job and it was a good job, you don't work at that job no more, right? What you doing? And if you got a certain set of skills that pertain to that job, what you gonna do? So my whole thing was, when this happened, you know, me being the ever so, you know, I guess aware man that I like to attempt to be. I was like, man, yo, if you ain't had no game on how to like make a shirt, sew a rug, sew some whatever, because I be thinking, I take everything back to kind of like back in the day, if you will, and we ain't have all this technology, kind of like what you were saying. We ain't have all that, like what you were saying. You had to seek out shit, right?
Yeah.
So in terms to get stuff made or to do things, you had to go to somebody to get it done. You had to go to this person to get it made. Back in the day, I'm pretty sure when you was rocking shit, if y'all wanted to go get crew t-shirts or some shit like that, y'all had the nigga in the hood to airbrush. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like a lot of these crafts died with technology, when these phones, when computers came out. I feel like a lot of like the artisan shit, cooking, crafting, just working with your hands, I feel like a lot of that kind of like went out the door. So I think the pandemic, I've always been like an able body. I like to build shit. I built the whole factory. You've seen the shit.
Yeah.
I like to, like when I was a kid, I would build clubhouses and shit like that. So now that I'm grown, I, you know, got a couple hours, I can, all right, let's go to Home Depot and build a fucking whole entire studio. So it's like, we just been trying to expand on our foundation at Great Skull, because when we came out, we had a lot of stuff early on, but I was making all that shit myself.
Yeah, you was, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I still make it all myself, but it's like a little bit, now that we got more.
Seems like you got a team now.
I do. I got a dedicated squad that's been rocking with me for like for longer than before I had the factory. But it's like I tell anybody, if you're gonna be a leader, you gotta show something with your leadership, and people will fuck with you. And they won't require a lot. Just keep leading in the right direction. That's gonna, you know, pay off eventually, and people will fuck with you. And we've been doing and sharing a lot of small victories along the way to getting us to where we at right now. And I think that the people that's been with me, they understand. They're like, damn, he said he was gonna do this.
Right.
It's not an overnight thing. It's not an instant gratification thing. It takes planning. It takes, you know, some execution. But I never lose sight of whatever it is that I want to do. I said I wanted a factory and I wanted to do my own thing. I started with a small press. I made t-shirts on that. I worked with my homies next door. They gave me some game. They say, yo, this is how you do it. You're going to do it like this. I listened to what they said, because a lot of motherfuckers be wanting to have that know-it-all because they making a couple dollars. They think they know everything. And it's like, nah, you still got to learn, because you would take that money and fuck it up. So I learned, and it took me, I was working for my homies in February, and by June I had my own space. So that go to show you how quick it clicked for me. Like I don't fuck around. You seen on the Instagram, like I learned the chain stitching shit. I learned the rug shit. 30 days, that's all I need. 2 weeks to fuck around, 2 weeks to lock it down. Okay? 2 weeks to fuck around, 2 weeks to lock it down. Period. And that's really how I approach things. So it's to the point where now I'm seeing that the brand has so much more potential outside of just clothes.
Right.
I am the brand. So with me being the brand itself, I got to consistently continue to grow and build on what I got and what the momentum that I done started. So the pandemic kind of just gave me time to really like duck off into the shadows, because I'm not in the forefront. I'm not traveling every other weekend. I'm not going here every other, you know what I'm saying? So it gave me time to really focus, you know, build up the people around me, get them to see like, look, this is what we need to be doing, because when the world open back up, we'll have an advantage. There's going to be so many people that still walking around with their heads down there. We already off to the races.
Off and running.
We good. So really, that's it. I got a fire at. You got some shit at my shop. You a baller, because you order shit and then forget about the shit.
I did forget about it.
Yeah, it's at the shop. It's in it. The crazy thing is, it's at the shop in a bag, and I folded the bag down. And the other day I was in there. I was organizing, because I try to clean up every week. And I'm like, I looked and I found the fucking Skeletor. I'm like, yo.
Yeah, that's mine.
I'm like, hold up.
That's mine.
I'm like, how did I? I'm like, oh, this John shit. And then I'm like, you know what I'm saying? So really, yeah, man, we got the classes is been going great. Y'all need to come. All y'all's invited. I would like y'all.
So wait, that's the what's the name of it?
So it's a hand tufting class. So
no, but you gotta wait. What was the Biasco? What's
Picasso?
That?
So that's my moniker. That's my moniker is Picasso. One of my favorite actual painter artists. I used to be an art student when I went to college. One of my favorite artists was Picasso, because of the one line things. And then one of my homies actually told me a story about the drawing on the napkin. I know I'm gonna tell it wrong, but basically like Picasso was somewhere and he was drawing some shit on a napkin. And the lady walked up on him and was like, yo, draw me on, like, come draw me, you know, how much would it cost? And he was like, well, I don't really do that, you know. She was like, okay, well, let me buy the napkin that you're drawing on. He was like, okay. She was like, well, how much do you want for it? He said some crazy ass number, and then she was like, well, why would I pay that much? And he said, well, what you don't see outside of me just being able to do this is the time that I put in my studio, the time that I took to learn and understand, you know, the composition, the lines, and all that shit. So it's just like, I thought that, like, well, damn, you do put a lot of work in behind the scenes to get to where you at. So it's called Picasso Workshops. And then I got, my company is Tog Maker. So I partnered up with my homie Elliot, and we teach screen printing and rug tufting right now. We're gonna get into chain stitching, teach people how to do this shit.
Right.
But I got a partnership that I'm working on that's gonna come out later in the year with that. So yeah, we just try to make shit fun and bring like the whole vibe of having fun while you making stuff. Like you ain't gotta always go and pay somebody else to do the shit. Do it yourself.
I also saw that you're trying to take the classes on the road. Like
we are. We are actually.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah, we are. I had my first student. He flew up from New Orleans and literally flew up here for like a day to take class.
Wow.
Like flew up, and that to me, that's the biggest.
Yeah.
You know what this reminds me of? Kind of Dr. Romanelli.
Who the hell is that?
Like Pancake Epidemic and Dr. Romanelli. You know what Dr. Romanelli is, Doug. He makes like those big recliner chairs.
Oh yeah.
He did some stuff with Taz.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
I think I kind of see you going in that direction where you can like attach an advertising firm or just a creative firm to it, you know?
Well,
is that where you're going?
So here's how it happened, for real. If you don't know me, you know me, and I don't know if you follow. You've been behind, but I do shit with sneakers. That's what I do. Streetwear, clothes, Supreme shit, anything, you know, popping, hype beastie, trendy, whatever the fuck you want to call it. So in that journey, I met up with a lot of people that was starting to get into like sneaker customization. So like I met up with actually one of the people who runs the class. His name is Dominic Chambron, and he runs the sneaker school shoe surgeon class. That's my man's. So I done known him since while he was still making shoes in his garage. So to see him go from that to where he at now, it really inspired me and let me know that like you can really do this shit if you really want it. If you want Gucci and Louis and Prada and shit, you go buy that shit and you spend it with no problem. You don't ask no questions. You hand that $1,000, you hand that whatever the fuck you spending on that bag, on them shoes, you hand that shit over with no problem. I'd rather hand $1,000, $500, whatever the fuck I'm spending over to Michael's or Home Depot, watch a couple videos on YouTube, or read a fucking book.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Like, read a fucking book, all right? And learn the skill or, like, pick up a trade myself. So what I seen what Shoe Surgeon was doing was he was bringing something that people felt was unattainable or that they couldn't do. That was the whole thing with me. People would be so down on themselves and be feeling like they can't do something, you know? So he would show people and he would walk them through the entire process over 3 days and they would have a sneaker at the end of it. Like, to me, that was the biggest tweak. I was like, damn, you come here, you pay your bread, and even though it's like you pay for it, it's almost like you pay for the challenge. And I like that challenge because I done been to 3 of his classes, you know what I'm saying? And I made sneakers in every last one of them, and every time it got better and better and better. It got better and better and better, you know, with what I was doing. So I seen that and I was like, okay, well, I don't like want to make shoes. I fuck with shoes, but I'm really into like clothes and, you know, style and fashion and shit like that. So when I picked up first with the screen printing. And like I said, it snowballed into learning how to chain stitch.
Right.
And then that snowballed into rug tufting with a fucking rug gun. But then I got it even crazier. And like I said, I don't do that shit by hand. And to me, that's the most rewarding. And I teach people how to do it by hand because to me, anybody can pick up a gun and blast a rug. It takes a true craftsman to sit there, figure out his lines, figure out his way, you know, and do all that type of shit. So that's why I make shit, like I said.
Oh, yeah. Definitely show us. That's crazy.
We made this shit. This was made in this is my everyday bag. I carry this every day. It's sturdy as shit. It's the best bag that I've ever had. Why? Because I fucking made it to my specific what I needed it for. Put a baby in this motherfucker if we wanted to. You feel me? But I learned, and it took me a month to really kind of like get the tool down, learn it. But that's what I be saying. People want to do what they want to do. And I think Grace Call, that's what it should show. You could do whatever the fuck you want to do. It's just a matter of what you want to do. Okay? If you want to fuck off, fuck off. You want to get this money? Figure it out. If you want to be a atelier, come on and holler at me. You know, if you want to get it in, you know what I'm saying, and creatively, that's what we here for. And I think that, again, like I said, if you're going to be a leader, you got to show leadership. You have to show progress in your leadership. So I think I'm just a growth of starting, you know, at one place, and now we done landed in another spot, and now we doing bigger and better shit. So more clothes, more interactive fucking content. Hopefully the pandemic goes the fuck away so I can start going out and hanging out with motherfuckers again and yeah, that's really what we've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, listen, trust me, I follow your Instagram, so I seen you've been busy.
Yeah.
You've been busy.
Yeah.
So now I got two different questions. I got one for Rudy and I got one for you.
All right, go ahead.
Two totally different questions.
Oh, all right.
So Rudy, what's your take on the polo subculture so far? Like as what, you know what I'm saying, we both know the whole polo thing. You know, what's your take on like what's going on and how is it, do you even fuck with it now, or you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, you mean polo, you mean Ralph Lauren, or you mean low life?
Low life, low heads, just everything in general. Because I mean, you see everything, I see everything.
Yeah. Ralph,
like your point of view. Because I love to hear your point of view.
On Ralph Lauren.
Yeah.
I don't know. It stays the same as it was before. I think I saw a newer logo to what my man called it, B-Bill. Dollar called it the Tiger style. I saw the Tiger stuff.
Yeah.
That was good. But I'm not gonna front. Due to the pandemic, I haven't been in the stores really.
Mm-hmm.
So all I see is stuff that they got in outlets, and the stuff in the outlets don't really count. You can't judge it by the outlets because that's last season and all that.
Right.
So I don't know. Polo it still don't do it for me.
Mm-hmm. The culture as a whole, how you think it is?
Oh, the culture as a whole is at odds right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm quite sure you saw the piece on Wallow.
Yes.
In Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
With Dark Low in them.
Yeah.
First and foremost, I had the privilege of speaking with Miss Audrey yesterday for a few hours.
Mm-hmm.
That's Boostin' Billy R.I.P. That's Cat Mike. That's Boostin' Billy mother.
Mm-hmm.
We conversed for a while. I expressed to her, I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago, I wanted to do a Mother's Day special, right? For this reason.
Mm-hmm.
March 9th is one of my homies, Don Quan. It's his birthday. You know, that's Biggie's birthday.
Right.
So about maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, they made a pact that every year Quan will have parties up here. Ruggs from Atlanta come down and support. BK Rube will come from LA at the skating ring and support. Then they'll go down to Atlanta, Quan to support him, and vice versa. You know, it's a 3-day function. He gave me all access to come through. So that year, Junior Mafia was hosting that year. So my co-defendant that gave me life, he was Junior Mafia.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to go there. I wanted to get footage of this.
Right.
That day, the day that I was about to go, you know, I'm semi-street, so, you know, I had certain stuff with me, so I dressed appropriately for, you know, Roscoe won't approach me.
Mm-hmm.
I went to meet Darkman and them around my way on Rockaway and Picking. So when I walk in the back of the tattoo parlor shop, I see they recording at the time, and Disco was indirectly talking about me, shooting at me. So we got into a little verbal thing. We took it outside. Then turned around. It escalated somewhere else. So long story short, they all distanced themselves from me.
Mm-hmm.
Claiming that I still had ties to the streets. You could put it like that, right? So I went on with my journey. But that was March. A little while after that, me and Vic was social at one time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So right after that, I did an old interview with Darkman and I think Guns. It was like the younger generation asking me questions as an older person.
Mm-hmm.
And if you notice my interviews, I always keep it 100. I tell the truth no matter who or what. So they asked me the questions. I answered them to the best of my ability. And I was professional about it in political, meaning that I was speaking in parables. I was speaking in the biblical sense. I used comparisons, and with my cousin is Master Fool. That's Tony. Mm-hmm. His name is Matthew. You know what I mean? So I used the Matthew. I used some proverbs from the Bible. And at first, Disco and Vic and all of them, they liked it. About 2 months later, I don't know who saw it afterwards, they deciphered it and they translated to Vic that, oh, yo, he's shooting at you in there. I wasn't shooting, I just was stating facts, respectfully. So anyhow, they distanced themselves from me. In the process of doing that, it was some females that I wound up conversing with, you know, getting in tune with the polo culture, the new era lowlifes. Mm-hmm. And they had expressed some type of dilemmas or drama they had in the past with maybe Disco or Vic, leaning towards male chauvinist stuff. Let's put it like that. So when all that happened, I conversed with them and told them like, yo, listen, yo, I don't want nobody following me that can't think for themselves first and foremost, right? They can't think for themselves. And second of all, if they just cold flunkies or they willing to throw their morals and principles or they gender out the window just to be down like a brandy ass nigga, they just want to be down, I don't want to socialize with people like that. So they went back and they mentioned it to their counterparts. All right, so now they came back to me. Yo, bro, how you gonna do that? Men business stay between men. I'm gonna emphasize, I'm gonna rephrase that. Men business stay between men. I'm not a male chauvinist. Now, unfortunately, right, I never knew my mom's. It's Mother's Day. When my mom passed away, I was an infant. I never knew my mother, right? Mm-hmm. So, that's number one. Number two, with me growing up, maybe because I never had no moms. When I see family members and friends, they have their moms and this, that, and the third, no matter if their moms is perfect or not, they don't take advantage of it. They disrespect them, right? But when they come in the streets, they won't disrespect another person in the street or maybe even the police or maybe even they boss to cut their check. They know how to bite their tongue or dumb down, but they won't do it for their moms. You feel what I'm saying? So I went throughout life judging people like this, people that I know in depth. If you have children or if you have a mother and if you don't treat them in the best light, the odds is you ain't gonna treat me in the best light. Only if you're afraid of me or if you think you're gonna get some type of monetary value from me in the near future. Other than that, you ain't gonna be dealing with me because you don't deal with them at ease. Mm-hmm. So now I said all that to go back to this. Love is an action word, right? Mm-hmm. According to the grammar. And we all know what loyalty means. So people say love and loyalty. Michelle is Cat Mike's sister. That's Boostin' Billy's sister. They got the same mother. They came from the same womb. You feel what I'm saying? So they dance to the same tune. The dude Barlow punched her in the face and broke her nose years ago because she say the same thing I'm saying. Before I was released on my reversal, she made a YouTube video with Dallas Penn and another one by herself, saying everything that I've been saying. That, yeah, Vic is a original lowlife, thirsty, but you ain't the leader. Rack, you original lowlife, but I'm older than you, Rack, so I've been in the streets longer than you, so I know a lot of stuff, and Boostin' Billy, Cat Mike is the star, and other people are the starters, and Rudy Low created the logo when he in jail. Now, I'm a male. You see me everywhere. I'm outside. I'm live, man. I'm with the shits. My back ain't been dirty. My mouth ain't been bloody. Never in life. Let alone right now with the stuff that I've been talking about because it's the truth. It's the truth. And who's gonna battle? Who's gonna battle with the truth? Now, I always, every time Vic come up, most of my peers, my immediate peers that's still in the streets, OGs and my ones my age, they don't jack Vic as original lowlife for one reason, because he don't steal. He never stole. He went on about 1 meow, but I don't jack that. I keep it 100. I made the logo. It's three components of the logo: money, hoes, and clothes. He got 2 of them, hands down. He fly and he taught me a whole lot about broads. I never switch. I keep it 100. It ain't gonna make me less of a man. You feel what I'm saying? So Vic got that, hands down. So who's to say, because Rack ain't still in 30 years, 40 years, Rack ain't still. You telling me George Billups, Rack ain't a lowlife? Rack is a lowlife. You don't have to steal to be a lowlife. That's ignoronic. That's bullshit. But at the same time, I'm still gonna keep it 100. Like I told the brother here, if I see a lie in somebody's stuff, a flaw in the beginning, then I'm gonna question everything else thereafter. That's the way it is. So, let's say, for example, this Holy Grails. The brothers y'all have up here?
Oh, yeah.
All right, now, a while ago, they contacted me about the silk crowns, right, on my DM. I think I humbly declined or maybe didn't respond back at first because, you know, I like authentic stuff. I'm not with copycat stuff, right, you know what I mean? Right. So I never hollered back. Months later, Rack holler at me. Yo, I got a business venture with these brothers. Word? What their name is? I always remember their name because I follow them. You know what I mean? I'm like, nah, yo, them the ones that hollered at me, Rack. He like, yeah. So I'm like, oh, all right. Now look what happened. They did the hats for Rack, the hat that you had on your show twice, right? Mm-hmm. The 5-panel, the new Rack hat. Mm-hmm. So now, when Rack get the hat, Rack called me and Rack tell me he had to change the logo, the cookie. I'm like, why you had to change the cookie, Rack? Because they let Victor De Jesus, which is Thurston Howell III, they let him know, yo, we doing some work with your buddy over here. We doing the umbrellas for you, but we doing some work for Rack Low. They didn't know about alleged differences. I didn't know Rack and Vic had differences. But to my understanding, once Rack gave me the award at the barbecue and said that I created the logo, Vic didn't communicate with him in the same fashion or manner anymore. So whatever reason, whatever they got going on, they got going on. But he tell the people, the Holy Grail, that if y'all make anything with that logo, I'm gonna have my lawyers search, seize all that rhetoric. Yeah. So they didn't do it. So now I call them right away. Yo, what up? Boom. They like, yeah, I'm like, yo, well, y'all know it's mine, right? And I explained to them, I sent them the paperwork. Y'all know, they're like, nah, OG, Rudy Low, we know it's yours. We'll do it for you. We'll do whatever merch or do a collaboration with you, but we didn't know about Rack. And if anybody that know Rack ain't confrontational, he ain't argumentative, you feel what I'm saying, et cetera, et cetera. But my thing is this, that's a lie. That's a fraud. That's a fraud. My thing is, I never in my life challenged him or any of my other peers because I created a logo with everybody in mind. You feel what I'm saying? And I don't care how anybody else shine. I'm going to get mine because I am creative and it's my whip. I drive in this whip. Everybody else just came along for the ride. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and I never had a problem with my ego or my popularity. So I don't got to down this brother to get to the top. That's some crab shit. I can still get to the top on my own without downing you, especially somebody that I know or somebody that's in the same inner circle or the same conglomerate and we all supposed to be one. You feel what I'm saying? So by doing that, that was like the craziest thing in the world. Now, the polo culture, the low-life culture. About 3 months ago, I heard rumors about Adam Sandler, Kevin Garnett, Thurston Howell III, right? Then I saw something for a glimpse and I didn't see it anymore. Then I saw it again. So now it's like manifesting, so it's allegedly true with Netflix. But how could you do a special or a series on stealing the American dream cliche when you never stole? If you talking about broads, then you got it all. You feel what I'm saying? You talking about being fly, nigga, you the man to the day that you fucking die. But when you talking about stealing, you storytelling, you pump faking. Now, that was the problem with our culture in the very beginning when I was incarcerated. When the average person in the low-life culture, when they saw the images of low-lifes, they saw most of the people from Brownsville. Because most of the people from Brownsville was free, most of the people from Brownsville was dealing with the music aspect of it.
I ain't gonna front. I was living in Ohio when I heard about that shit when I, became of age, and I thought all y'all stole. I'm gonna just keep it all the way 100. I heard nobody was safe. I thought nobody was safe. That new shit hit the shelf. Y'all cleaning that shit out. 95% of the people, us growing up, 95% stole. You could say 4%. You could say 95%. You could say 3% used to hustle. Let's say drugs or do whatever else. You feel what I'm saying? Maybe only 2% didn't do crime. But they still was fly. It's only maybe 2% because our origins come from hardship. Now, I'm not saying Victor didn't steal because he didn't know how to or because he was scared. I don't really know if he know how to. But I personally feel I used to stay with him, so I know this much. He had different responsibilities than we had when I came in contact with him. Meaning if he went to jail, his mom was already doing a bid. He had to hold the crib down. He had to hold his sister down. You feel what I'm saying? And why should I go steal if I can get something from y'all little niggas? Y'all niggas are gonna give me, I'm gonna buy it from y'all from a third, and he's slinging dick mile a minute, so he getting shit from 1,000 chicks. So why should I go on to me if I'm flying and y'all niggas and y'all going on me house? So I'm not taking nothing from the man for that. You feel what I'm saying? But all I'm saying is keep it 100. Keep it on the table. You feel what I'm saying? So now what you gonna do? You gonna go secondhand and get information from their other people? Like, that's not genuine. You feel what I'm saying? And that's the main reason why I called my show Chronicles, because people tell stories. A story is something that's concocted or made up. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not with that. Even the books, like he fooled everybody, even Rack. No offense, neither one of them is books that they came out with. They call a Pictionary. Now, I love the eleology of words because that's how I got my freedom. At one time, I couldn't read or write. And in order for me to get my freedom to be talking to you legally, I did it myself per se, but I had to know the words, I had to know the power of words and the power of communication. You feel what I'm saying? So if the wrong person is receiving this stuff and if they believe it, then it's all misconstrued, man. It's all misconstrued. How in the hell can I come home and nobody not know who I am? And I created a logo and I'm in all the pictures with them. The people in this culture is so naive. You can have a picture up that have been a famous picture for 20 years and they never ask who the other people is. Why not? Like if I see something, I'm gonna ask, yo, who's that person? Who's that? I'm not gonna be focused on him. What about the surrounding cast? You feel what I'm saying? So these people, like, they just wanna be down. They just wanna be down.
That's it. And what I always stress in this culture is about 500,000 of us now, hashtag, worldwide. And we can't get nothing together as a whole, like merch-wise or one little business-wise at all. But everybody spend all their money with Ralph Lauren, though. And Ralph Lauren don't give nobody nothing back in return, kid.
Why do people in this culture have such a hard time working together? Because I've tried to work with people in the culture. It never works out.
Because this is a fact. This ain't my opinion. The people in this culture is copycats. Even the OGs is copycats. And they never had a sense of authority like they have now. So they manipulate and they use it like it's a gang or like some type of other stuff. So meaning this, if he's Vic,
that gatekeeper
if
shit.
he's Vic, he's third out of third, his followers not allowed to follow me or mess with me and vice versa. I'm not like that. I follow everybody. I deal with every individual the way they is. You feel what I'm saying? Because they scared of popularity, but guess what? I'm more popular than him now. And this is my shit, and my nuts hang. So anybody want to work with me, anybody want to do anything with me, I do it. Ain't nobody on earth can tell me nothing, especially legally or non-legally. You feel what I'm saying? Like, how could it be another Rudy Low when I'm Rudy? Like, look, both of y'all is intelligent. My government name is Rudolph.
Undertaker versus Undertaker.
That's my name. My name is Rudolph. The other guy name is Rakim God Allah. He's older than me in physical ages. I knew him from back in the days. He was Beck's friend. He never was Rudy Low. Now I go to jail. Y'all don't talk about me no more. I used to be fat and light-skinned. Now this dude appear.
So
you fill in the blanks. That's what Vic did. That's unrenowned. You know that was Rudy Low until I came home and the guards kicked him out the whip and said he's not guard body no more because you can't jack both. Listen, life is about progressing, not degressing. So if his name was Rakim God Allah and he's older than me and I worship Ralph Lauren, I used to love Ralph Lauren, the crack. I loved him. That's where the low come from. Why would you turn around and call yourself Rudy Low later on when you was already Rakim God Allah? You going backwards now? Like, come on, man. People lie about certain stuff the same way they do with religion to put stuff in places, and now when somebody else come, they make me seem like I'm a hater. Oh, this bro for hating, he this, he that. So guess what? I don't got to do what nobody else do. I always say I set trends, and I do set trends. When I came home, Vic was selling T-shirts and hats with my logo. I didn't want to walk. I couldn't compete with him, popularity-wise in social media, because I didn't know nothing about it. Right? So I left it alone. Rack was doing appendix and whatever he did. I left it alone. I did something that nobody else was doing. I started talking about visuals. I started a podcast because none of them was doing it. Now everybody want to do what I do. And guess what? I'm the only one that owned a low-life movie. Nobody else on earth owned that movie that's from like 20 years ago with us running out of King's Plaza doing all that. That's mine. It's Rudolph Thea's. You feel what I'm saying? And none of them got the history, nor the passion, or the drive to do what I do. Because this is like, imagine a mother, and this is Mother's Day. Imagine a mother giving birth to somebody, and unfortunately she had to get incarcerated or go through whatever trials and hurdles she had to go through, so someone else was raising a child or caring for a child. That's what Rack and Vic did for this cookie and this low-life culture for me. They tended to it, and without them, it wouldn't have grew to what it is. I can never take nothing back. You feel what I'm saying? But that don't mean that y'all gonna ruin my child life for forever. And I'm not gonna let nobody ruin it because this is my dream and my ambition. You feel what I'm saying? And I didn't get my freedom just to, don't get me wrong. At first, I wanted to come home on some vindictive shit. Just to come home to show people, yeah, I'm home. Now y'all niggas remember me and all that. You feel what I'm saying? But doing all this podcast shit and all this other jail shit and all these other corny niggas, I want to leave a legacy now because mentally, nobody can do what I do mentally. Like, they can't really converse and fuck with me like that. You feel what I'm saying? Because I'm not on no physical stuff no more. So everybody always resorted me to be physical, so therefore I would have wound up back in the can. You know what I mean? On foreign land again. Now I'm here and I'm using this. They don't use that. All I do all day, every day is think. I don't do nothing else. I don't do negative stuff. And I ain't got nothing else to think about. I ain't got no bills. YouTube, social media pays me well. I'm good. You feel what I'm saying? I'm good. But I'm going to keep it 100 in the process of doing it. So, in other words, I don't. This coach is crazy, kid.
Let me ask one question. The logo, is it trademarked?
Yeah.
Who owns the trademark?
I own it.
You own it.
Rudolph Athea, yeah, I own it.
Okay.
And the process, now see, this is another thing about common sense. The brothers from the Holy Grails, right? I explained this to them. I said, Vic sent y'all this, that, and the third. I said, Willie Esco and them print merch every day. The Low-Light brand prints merch every day. Why Vic ain't tell them nothing? Because they know I converse with them. They know that he don't own it. So he can't do nothing with it. He can't tell them that because they know different. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that was extremely, extremely uncool to do.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Because Vic never done nothing to me physically. He never done nothing to Rack. So it ain't like we got no real beef. Even though you did some creep shit to me, hey, I'm looking past it. I'm not busting nobody in the head. I'm not doing that. So I'm not gonna sit around and lie on you or stop your money. I'm not gonna stop his money because whatever differences we got, he's still creative and he still got his visions. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, he this. If I say somebody's corny, that means you sincerely corny in your craft. You feel what I'm saying? Now, this is the main thing that I have with him and I had with Rack. They believe in their heart that their lyrical skills, their musical skills took this culture to the next level. And I beg to differ. That's the same thing Horsepower tried to depict. I beg to differ. Y'all went high in y'all popularity because y'all are original lowlifes. Not because you rack low, not because you thirst out of 30 and you not a rhyme. No. But this is what they think, because even back then, that was the argument. They claimed that I had no other skills or no of nothing, that I need this to blow. I don't need this to blow. This is a part of me. I never created an alter ego. I'm Rudolph. I'm Rudy Low. All I've been doing from day one is telling me what I experience and what my peers experience. That's my journey in life. That's why it's Chronicles. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So this is my purpose. I'm telling the story. I'm chronicalizing, narrating what went on in my life. And I don't think none of them know more information or more political or more equal. Put it like that, because I deal with equality, man, no matter who they is. Mm-hmm. Some people got personal differences, so I'm gonna pick my friend, or I'm gonna say this. Nah, I ain't like that, because the most popular people in our culture wasn't them growing up. It wasn't. Mm-hmm. And in certain areas, it's still not. But if you don't never speak about nobody else, my thing is this: whoever crossed my path and you made an imprint, I'll speak about you. So if you want to do something in the future, you could do it. I don't gotta come out and co-sign you. I already talked about you. I already said, yeah, this, that, is already there. You feel what I'm saying? And if I miss somebody, all right, I can be critiqued. All right, go back, yeah, I missed this person. But people only want to say, people feel that you will outshine them. Mm-hmm. That's what they feel, like you'll outshine them. Anybody gonna outshine me. You might shine now, I might shine later. But I'm gonna do me. So, but people's not, they not secure in their manhood or their egos like that.
All right. So, Racks, just real quick before we wrap this up, give your take on, guys, I said I had a question for you too. The sneaker culture and Supreme at the moment.
Sneaker culture is culturing. With the introduction to all these third-party resale sites.
But you can't even get a pair of sneakers now. Everything just
bro. Bro, like, at the end of the day, resale is king, I guess, for now, until like the world, I guess, open back up. I feel like the companies do drive a lot of the bullshit. We was having a conversation on set the other day, and we was saying, like, a lot of the sneakers that you come out with, they wouldn't be hype if you didn't put them on that stankin' ass app. Mm-hmm. Like, just put the shit in the store, put the shit on the site, and let motherfuckers buy the shit as they deem it fit. I feel like the moment you put it on the upcoming or in the feed on sneakers or whatever fucking app you use to buy from Adidas and Nike and shit now, as soon as it go on there, that automatically garners a resale value on it. Like, it automatically, like, oh, it was on sneakers app, so that means it's getting raffled. So that means, like, I bought a pair purple Dunks the other day, right? Purple Dunks. Nothing spectacular about that sneaker. They're not SBs. They're not nothing special. They just purple and white Dunks. But I had to go to the ends of the earth and pay fucking $325, well, $300 to get them. Right. And it's like, I feel like if them shoes wouldn't have been on that app, or if they would have just been in Nike or even just at a store, they would have sat there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have been able to get that shoe, no problem. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that, like, the culture now is so digital that it took away a lot of, like, the warriors of the game, where you would go down and line up. I mean, no disrespect, and I'm pretty sure y'all can attest to this with the low shit. Half you motherfuckers that be getting these sneakers would never set foot in a lineup on 34th Street. You would never come to fucking 21 Mercer Street. You would never go to 59th, or, you know what I'm saying, 57th. You would never be up at none of these spots, you know what I'm saying, to stand with a motherfucker from Brownsville, or stand with a motherfucker from the Bronx, or stand with a motherfucker from Harlem, or whatever, that's not playing about his shit. And he don't care. Look, I need this. I need this. I'm not hearing nothing you got to say. I didn't been out there many a days, and motherfucking, it's been my issues or whatever. So I think that they killed that part of the game, and that's a part of the game that was essential to just buying shit, even with motherfuckers in the street. you damn near got to pay a premium on a premium because whoever your reseller or your plug is got to buy that shit third party off rip and pray to God that he not paying the high. Maybe got caught a stock resale back door. So it's just like fucked up. Supreme,
they killing him.
Supreme is Supreme, bro. Like I say this and I'm gonna say it to the end. Supreme is gonna always be. I said it in the documentary. It's always gonna be like that girlfriend that you can get her number. You might get some pussy, but she not gonna call you. You gonna call her. Like straight up, you gonna always chase that feeling. I feel like the new generation of kids that's coming up, I don't think they really understand what fun that there was to be had when the lineups was available. And, they do everything like you said on bots and computers and shit. So you basically sitting there playing Call of Duty with your closet. Like, so it's like, I get it. I still get whatever the fuck I want by whatever means I need to go about it. I still got people that's, they're a rare breed. They dinosaurs now, but they're a rare breed out here that's kind of like still going hard and getting shit. So, I mean, I got my own brand, bro. Like, you see what I got. This is Supreme hoodie thing, but I put my own shit on it.
Right.
You feel me? Like, so it's like, I feel like they cool. I want to make sure my brand can be up there and be at least, featured or worn with the Supreme, you know what I'm saying? But Supreme is going to always be Supreme until they do some dumb shit to fuck up they shit completely. They just opened a store up in Milan. So they doing well. I like to see the culture still growing. I like to see the up and coming motherfuckers that's behind like me and my homies and shit that's doing it. It's dope. It is what it is. It's a necessary evil. I don't care what nobody say. Like at the end of the day, that shit ain't going nowhere. Streetwear culture ain't going nowhere. It's not dead. It's taking on a different form. It's evolving. And I think that when the pandemic finally, the dust settle on all of this shit, I think that brands will be forced to reevaluate how they go about doing drops and how they sell product. So who's not to say that hopefully in the future we will see more, physical drops. We might start seeing.
No, it's going to be the opposite. Nike already announced that they're going to get rid of all their stores. Like it's going straight to online.
Yeah, fuck all of that. But what I'm saying is, you still gonna have distributors, even at that. You can't get rid of a mom and pop, sneaker store.
No, they're all going. There's a press. You can read it. It's online.
You can't shut down a sneaker store that sell Nike and I sell other shit just because I sell Nike. That's what I'm trying to say. If I got a store,
Nike going no more stores?
A brick and mortar. So you said they taking
Nike Factory?
Yeah, they're all
Nike
going.
Town or.
I'm gonna have to take your advice and vet that information.
Yeah,
what I'm saying is, if that's the case, then I don't see no signs of that shit. Because like I said, it's still sneaker skate shops dropping. We got fucking
That's gonna make sneakers more valuable now.
To me, that just don't make no sense. Because it's not like the world is gonna shut down and become one of them things. You still got people that travel outside of the United States and still will buy sneakers. So I don't see them doing that would kind of hurt their pockets.
Well, it'd be just in America, from what I read, but it's gonna make them a whole lot more money because they cut the middleman out.
Man,
you just buy.
Yeah, you don't gotta pay no rent. You don't gotta pay.
Fuck that. Listen, bruh. If that is true, because like you said, allegedly, and it needs to be vetted. I'm taking both of y'all's.
Allegedly.
I'm taking both of y'all's.
That's the key word, allegedly.
I'm just saying like this. Even still, like we got the shits. It's still never a shortage of releases. Like I said, Travis Scott. He carrying the brand, and I'm not gonna sit here and say that his brand don't do well outside of the site, but they don't need to put Travis Scott shit on their website to sell it, and it and resale
Out the door.
You feel me? So that might be somewhat true. I hope it's not. I'm gonna say it like that. But to me, just as a whole, like the culture is gonna still, I think, evolve. To me personally, I see because it's still things like SneakerCon. You still got to basically be able to put the product on the ground in some shape, form, or facet. So even if they do that, cool. Then motherfuckers like me who can access the product still gonna be able to have these conventions. And guess what? You're gonna converge on these hubs and be able to buy sneakers on the secondhand market. And that creates a new revenue stream for motherfuckers that is hustling out here, getting to it on the, you know what I mean? Spend your Dogecoin on some Nike stock then if that's the case. You know what I mean? But I'm just rolling with the punches for I'm just having fun, bro. Like I said, I learned how to do so much shit with the sneakers. I got my own shoe. Right. So Nike can go ahead.
Yeah,
Thank you. I'm glad that buy Grayskull sneakers if that's the case, because we sell our shit to stores. But yeah, I just think Supreme, like I said, is gonna keep being Supreme. They're gonna keep coming out with wild shit. Who's to say they probably come out? They're coming out with a fucking jet ski this season. Like a wave runner. Like you coming out with the collabs only gonna get bigger, crazier. And I just, like I said, as long as you're having fun with it, I don't really care. I'm not one of the dudes, like, what did Drake say? I'm not one to sit and talk about it if I didn't have it, you know, or like, if I don't got it, I ain't want to sit and talk about it. It's whatever. It's so much shit in the world. It's so many other things that interest me, that Supreme and Nikes and that shit is just one small fraction of the bigger picture of what I'm. Yeah, so it's cool. I like it. I love it. My kid, she don't wear none of that shit, so thank God.
Yeah, she don't even care.
Yeah,
But the Nike stuff, like the Hyper Beast to be doing, that don't never wind up in the stores as regular price, right?
Yeah, it's
like,
all
when I
starts
say that,
off.
meaning,
Look,
see
I
the
just got a
polo?
thing.
See
It's
the
funny.
polo?
Nike just said, they hear me. They hear us. Look, we talk about Nike. Look what Nike. I just got a sneakers pass. They hear us.
Yeah,
They
I be
listen.
thinking they be hearing it sometimes. They be go to that shit.
The shit starts off
telling you,
always
kid.
as regular price, bro. But the shit, so it basically works one of two ways.
I mean, back to regular price, but I mean, like, see how the Polo, how the Hyper Beast do it? Sometimes certain logos wind up in Marshalls.
Yeah.
It depends. Some of them same things that people stood on line
shit
for wind up in Marshalls and TJ Maxx like 6 months later or a year
Well,
later.
some of them
Shit
go
get
to
returned
but
and
they
go to
got
the outlet.
they got stuff that go directly there though too.
Yeah,
They don't
Yeah.
even hit the store. They go
They got
directly
stuff that go
there.
straight to the outlets.
Yeah, go straight there.
So it's like the
So
shit.
you done paid all that money and you got jerked.
Well, I got a saying, and it's
You're right.
it's one of my T-shirts. It's only worth what a fool will pay for it. It's just deciding when you want to be that fool. Period.
It's only worth what a fool paid for.
And you just decide when you want to be the fool. Because if you look at anything that's priced retail to resale or retail MSRP, it's a markup involved.
Oh yeah.
So at any stage of the game, even if you got it at retail, you really didn't get it at retail. You got it at retail MSRP of what Nike wanted to sell it to you for after their costs, you know? So it's just like with jewelry, cars, clothes, you just got to decide when you want to be the fool. And it's just deciding to
I
take
don't know. I'm willing to pay for something that nobody else gonna have, or a lot of people ain't gonna have it. But if everybody gonna have it, I'm not
Well, that's
paying
when you
for it.
decide when you want to be the fool. You want to be the fool when you want to be rare exclusive. I'm the same way. I won't buy some shit. If I know that it's 1,000,000 in one of them, I'm not going to buy that shit. But if I know that, like you said, if I know that there's only 25 of these or they're numbered, you know,
Yeah, or they got different colors.
I'll pay that.
That's a whole nother question because, like, when I buy something, I either want it to be very old, so like it's out of circulation, right? And I'm the only person that got it, or I want it to be like a corporate gift, and then not everybody can
Everybody can
access
get no corporate
those
gifts.
corporate.
Yeah,
gifts.
oh hell yeah. I put you 100%. 100%. No,
yeah.
but hey, it is like I said, it be what it be. I think that like I said, the game is gonna continue to evolve. I'm anxious to see what it do after this shit is over, and like to see because you gotta think a lot of these places, like you said, is closing up and lost bread. So you gotta bring the customer back. You gotta get them hooked back on the crack, man. So you're gonna have to give out some samples. You're gonna have to do some hand-to-hand trap sales out here in these streets. You're not gonna be able to just go be like, here's an online campaign. Fuck with me. No, fuck that. There's a million other things I could be doing than sitting here in front of my computer giving, like, nah. Yeah. Fuck COVID-19.
Well, on that note, we're gonna end the show off.
Hey.
Hey, Rudy, where can they find you online?
Well, RudyLOChronicles on YouTube, RudyLolife1 on Instagram, RudyLOChronicles on Instagram, and RudyLo on Facebook.
Okay. Racks Hogan, where can they find you?
Everywhere. At your house.
Oh my God.
In the airport.
Jeez Louise.
In the taxi. I'm on the gram at It's Racks. We got that show on Complex Mailroom.
That's what we want to say. You still doing that, right?
Fuck yeah, we doing that for the people. You
You
know?
got a show on Complex?
Yeah, I wrote and created myself. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Look at your African American out here thriving in these streets in corporate America. Yeah, nah. So you can find me on that. It's Racks, ITSRACKS on Instagram and Twitter.
How often you do the episodes for the mailroom?
So we just wrapped season 2, and they already greenlit season 3. We the highest performing show on social media for Complex right now.
Nice.
Shout outs to y'all. Thank you. And you can send shit in all the time. If you have stuff, if you watch the episodes, for all you motherfuckers that's watching this podcast, if you watch the episodes in their entirety, the address to the mailroom is featured at the end. So stop DMing me and asking me where to send that shit to. Please, respectively. Because I get tired of like telling y'all the same shit. But yeah, so we still doing that, giving back. Like I said, I'm all about giving back. My great-grandmother told me, you never know where your last drink of water gonna come from. You should always be nice to everybody, no matter who they are, what they done did to you, what the fuck happened. You know, because at the end of the day, God got the final say so. So my whole tweak is this. If I meet you and you got an idea, I'm not gonna steal your idea. if I got a platform, I want to be cool with the dude who had the good ideas. So it's like, look at Racks. He can spot good ideas. You feel me? You feel me? So it's one of them things where that's what we doing with the show. And like I said, you can find it on Complex Style, Complex main page. Complex Con is coming back this year. I just found that out. So season 3 already done been picked up. Hopefully we do season 4. It gets bigger, it gets better.
Talking about Complex, where Punch is at Complex.
Who the hell is Punch? Complex Media.
You don't know who Punch is, man? Yeah, he's a music dude, man. Messing with DJ Academic, the ones that be with 6ix9ine, like he one of the most.
With Academics for real. Like,
but that's the same horsepower complex, the same complex.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask you about that later too. I wanted to ask you about that. But no, so that's where we at with it, bro. So come on through, come on down.
They give out budgets.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
GK.
Yeah.
Where can they find you? End of the show.
So can I use this part to just give my unpopular opinions about things?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Supreme is basically LRG at this point. Cause is not a talented graffiti writer. He's a toy. Cause.
Oh, okay.
Fucking garbage. And there's a third one, but I can't remember. Maybe next week.
Okay, next week.
Yo, you went in with the hot.
LRG was trash. That big giraffe.
Okay, and on that note, you can find me on Instagram, Polo at the Super P Podcast on Instagram and on Facebook. Yeah, thanks again for Rudy Low and Racks for coming out. We'll be back next week with a certain graffiti artist. So you guys tune in. We'll be back. Ciao, Super P Podcast.
Squad gang gang.
Oh, man.